Hello, Fur Witness family. Raina here, your watchful Doberman hostess. Today I'm thrilled to welcome a very special guest narrator for our story, Sonny, the brave Golden Retriever. He'll guide us through Knocks Beneath the Bell, a tale of unwavering love and loyalty. So settle in, and let's hear from Sonny.
I woke before the sun, as I always do, expecting the familiar creak of Ethan's boots on the stairs. Instead, silence stretched across the hallway like a long winter shadow. I trotted from room to room in growing circles, sniffing the air for his cedar and coffee scent. Nothing but dust motes and the faint perfume of lilacs from Claire's pillow. Noah lay in his crib, a tangle of warm blankets and curls. When he saw me, he raised both arms in that wobbly toddler way and whispered, "Dida." I licked his fingers and whined, hoping the taste of morning would summon Ethan through the doorway. It didn't. Downstairs, Claire stood at the sink, shoulders hunched like a bird folding its wings. Black fabric spilled across the counter, strange clothes she never wore. She tried to straighten a veil, but her hands shook so badly the pins clinked against the porcelain. I nudged her leg. She knelt and pressed her forehead to mine, tears soaking my fur. "It's just us today, Sonny," she murmured, voice hollowed by a sleepless night. Salt and grief clung to her skin. I licked both away, but more kept coming. Outside, a neighbor's truck idled, back doors open for the floral arrangements. The engine rattled like an anxious heart. Claire handed Noah to me for a moment, as if a dog could carry a child, and fumbled for her keys. The baby clutched my ear, repeating, "Dida, dida," until the word lost shape and became a sob. I padded to the porch swing. Ethan's coat still hung on the peg beside the door, one cuff brushing the floorboards. I pressed my nose into the wool, inhaling every story we'd ever told together. Morning jogs, muddy fields, late-night porch talks. The smell was already fading. When Claire finally loaded Noah and the lilies into the car, I leapt into the back seat without being asked. She didn't shoo me out. She only whispered, "Stay close, Sonny. I can't do this alone." And so the three of us drove toward the tolling bells of St. Michael's, the empty place beside Claire heavier than any casket. The church sat on a hill, stone walls older than memory. As we approached, the bells began to ring, slow, deliberate, like footsteps of a giant we couldn't see. Each peal vibrated through my ribs. Noah covered his ears and cried. I wanted to howl back, but a dog keeps quiet where humans pray. Inside, incense scratched the back of my throat. Candle flames jittered in tall glass chimneys, throwing light that didn't feel warm. I lay near Claire's feet, nose to the cool flagstones, listening to the hush between heartbeats. Every kneeler's creak, every stifled sniffle painted the air with a different flavor of sorrow. Ethan rested in a polished oak box at the front, lid closed, brass handles gleaming. I'd seen wooden crates before, boxes for toys, for tools, even for bones, but never one that made the room feel smaller. Noah wriggled out of Claire's arms and toddled ahead, fingers straight as arrows. "Daddy," he whispered, pointing at the coffin. His voice wobbled like a candle about to gutter. The congregation gasped in one breath. Claire hurried forward, scooping him up, but he kept pointing, as though the lid might open and Ethan would step out grinning, saying it was all a grand mistake. I crept closer, ears pricked. Beneath the varnish I smelled oak, glue, and something faintly human, too faint. I cocked my head. Somewhere under the choir loft a window rattled, but there was no wind. Uncle Marcus arrived late, coat too sharp, shoes too shiny for sorrow. He kissed Claire's cheek, whispered something about debts and hard decisions. His cologne stung my nose, slick and bitter as spoiled meat. When he patted my head, I bared my teeth. He withdrew his hand quickly, smile slipping like wet paint. The pastor spoke of dust returning to dust, of valleys of shadows and cups overflowing. People nodded, but their eyes stayed on the coffin or on Noah, who wouldn't stop pointing. And I, the fur witness, felt a tremor in the air, the way the earth quivers just before thunder. The service ended, yet no one moved. Candle wicks bent, and straightened in a breathless dance. Then clears a paw against the door, thud. A single knock from inside the box. My ears flew upright. Gasps ricocheted across the pews like startled birds. Claire swayed. Noah clutched her veil and cried, "Daddy cold. Daddy knock." His words echoed off stone arches, too pure to ignore. Marcus stepped forward, voice slick. "Wood shifts, dear." Temperature change, but his pulse thumped so loud I could hear it under his collar. The pastor tried for calm, yet even his hands trembled as he reached for a hymn book he did not open. Another thud, softer, as if someone tapped with fading strength. My instinct screamed, "Dig, pull, drag your human out." But I had no claws for oak, only the power to stay and testify. Claire laid her palm upon the lid. Her fingers traced Ethan's name engraved there, and her grief sharpened into something fierce, mother wolf fierce. She whispered, "Ethan, can you hear me?" Silence answered, so loud it hurt. Marcus cleared his throat. "We should proceed to the burial. Emotions are high." He gestured to two ushers to wheel the coffin away. I blocked their path, hackles up. The crowd murmured, some afraid, some agreeing, some simply lost. Noah began to hiccup through his tears, repeating, "Daddy call." I nuzzled his knee, asking silently what he heard, but toddlers speak a language even dogs can't decode. He pointed to a dark corner behind the altar where dust motes swirled like tiny ghosts. Thunder rumbled outside, though the sky beyond stained glass was blue. The wooden beams overhead popped, and from the coffin came a third, weaker knock, as if hope itself were tapping, asking, "Is anyone still there?" The back doors burst open. Dr. Patel, the county physician, hurried in, tie crooked, papers flapping like wounded birds. "Stop," he shouted. "I've reviewed the certificate. Ethan's vitals were never confirmed. The signature's a forgery." Murmurs became shouts. Sorrow became outrage. Marcus paled, lips parting. The pastor steadied himself against the pulpit. Claire's knees buckled. I pressed under her arm to hold her up. Noah, sensing the storm of adult fear, buried his face in my fur and wept silent tears that smelled like iron and milk. Deputies arrived, boots echoing. Marcus backed toward the sacristy, muttering about misunderstandings. Sweat dripped, carrying that peppery stench of lies. One deputy blocked him. The other removed his cufflink chain and waited. Dr. Patel knelt by the coffin. "We must open it now." The pastor nodded. Claire whispered, "Do it. Please do it." The ushers hesitated until I barked one sharp command. Wood screws screeched as the lid lifted. Inside lay Ethan, skin gray, breath a whisper. Eyes fluttered. A hush fell as thin as air atop mountains. Then a collective gasp. Claire's sob broke free, a sound of love colliding with disbelief. She seized his hand, so cold yet still hers. Deputies dragged Marcus forward. Under questioning, he cracked like brittle ice. Talk of sleeping drafts, debts, forged documents. Every confession made the congregation flinch. Evil had not come with horns. It had worn polished shoes and a cousin's grin. An ambulance whisked Ethan away, sirens slicing the afternoon. Claire rode beside him, Noah in her lap, fingers tangled in his father's hair. I followed in a volunteer's truck, muzzle pressed to the window, city streets flashing by like pages turning toward a better chapter. 1 month later, dawn spilled gold over the farmhouse fields, matching the shimmer of my coat. Ethan sat on the porch swing, still pale but steadily breathing. A white bandage peeked above his collar, like a second chance made visible. Claire brought coffee, the scent finally warming rather than wounding. Noah toddled across the planks, steady now, giggling each time the boards creaked. He climbed onto Ethan's lap, tracing the lines of his face as if redrawing him into the world. I lay at their feet, ears half closed, basking in the music of hearts beating in rhythm again. All around us, cicadas buzzed, tractors hummed in distant fields, and the world sounded exactly as it should when no one is trapped in darkness. A letter came, 25-year sentence for Marcus. Claire folded it once, twice, and fed it to the fireplace without a word. "Justice," she said later, is a flame that keeps us warm by burning away the night. Ethan built Noah a tiny kite that afternoon. The string tangled once around my tail, and we laughed. Yes, dogs laugh. It's in the wag and the sparkle of eyes. The kite soared so high, I thought it might tug the whole sky down for us to keep. At sunset, Ethan knelt beside me. "You kept witness, old friend," he whispered, scratching a spot behind my ear that makes the stars spin. "Without you, we'd be telling a very different story." I licked the scar on his hand, sealing a pact older than language. Night rolled in gentle and forgiving. From the porch, I watched silhouettes of my family framed by lamplight. I thought of oak lids and cold stone floors, of knocks that begged to be believed. And I knew this simple truth: a dog's duty is never over. Yet tonight, in the hush between crickets, I could rest my head, certain that every heartbeat inside the house was free to beat on.
Thank you for staying with us through every heartbeat and echo beneath those ancient stones. If Sonny's narration reminded you that family and truth can never stay buried, please tap like, hit subscribe for more fur witness adventures, and share this video with someone in need of hope. I'm Raina, and as always, we're always beside you. See you next time.